Wow, boom, I'm back. The 3D printer job that I was running off, actually running a couple of 3D printers even today, but 3D printer here, this job is finished. This is just a winder for spooling, but I'm transferring spooling from one to another. I have a tool for that where we can splice the lines together and then spool them up, but in order to do that you have to sit there and crank on them. So I saw this on Thingiverse, and it's a little hand crank job with a spool and some gears and stuff. I think I got a little problem here. I got to finish this up a little bit. Put a screw or something in here to hold this together. And other than that, it's completed. So that'll be super handy, because I've always got 3 and 4 small spools of red left over, and I put them all together using that splicing kit from Amazon. I'll post a link where you can see it, and yeah, I'll also put a link in the description below where you can buy that thing. It'll be an affiliated link, which helps the channel, of course. But that little thing has saved us so much money in the long run that it paid for itself within the first couple of weeks of even having it, because I use a lot of filament, and I go through a lot of filament with these projects and for the clients and stuff, because of my little, I call it the little factory. You can call it a 3D printing farm, but I kind of like the little factory. I think that's cool. I kind of figured the best way to show you this would give you the full picture. So yeah, this is the filament splicing tool, and mostly what I'm working with, of course, is PLA. But there are I've got ASA, I've got ABS, and all the rest of it. But right now, I just want to set it up for this PLA job right here. And what happens is this spool right here is actually 3. Yeah, it was 3 spools, and it was just a little bit on each spool. So I wound it all up, and in fact, I'll take it off for a second. You can see roughly how much spooling there, how much PLA I have. It's a lot on there now. And now, the next thing I want to do is I will take this and combine it with this spool here that's running down. That's almost, again, it's almost running out. It's obviously there's more on here than there is there. But what I'm going to do is take this and add it to that. And in order to do that, I'm going to take this out of here again. And that would be good. It's not too bad a model. I'm not real crazy about this. Is an old model too, though. It was been around for I think about 9 years. So yeah, whoever drew this up did a pretty good job. It's a little rough from the old days or whatever. It's kind of primitive, but hey, it does the trick. Now, the one thing I want to look for is how this spools on. So I want it to come underneath. So I want it to be on the bottom. And the reason for that is the same thing I'm going to be doing on this side. I want it to come off the bottom, or off the bottom here and onto the bottom here to spool it up. So yeah, sometimes you actually have to look at the spool and see how it's wound up. Makes a difference. That should do it. Now, when I put that on there, that should spool up this way underneath. Yeah, okay, which it does. So I'll just make sure it's nice and tight, because what we're going to be doing is that way. So we'll splice the 2, and then we'll wind all this off of here, all onto one spool. Then put it back in the machine and start. What that does is it recovers a lot of small pieces that I had laying around. So the only other thing I'm going to need, of course, is a power supply for the splicer. Now what I want to do is put this on a board so that I can do this whole thing like this in an operation, mounted on a board. So brought a tape measure so we can measure a board. And the board's got to be about 2 feet long. Okay, that'll give me enough space that way. And at least about 6 inches. So 2 foot by 6 inch. So let's go find us a board. 24 by 6. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm back from the barn with it's crumble board, as somebody told me they call it. I love that. Yeah, that's scrap, So for something like this, it's perfect, because I don't care. Now, trying to put enough space in here, and the only reason I'm putting any space really is I want to be able to work with the splicer kit, this part here. The only thing missing would be nice if I had some kind of mechanical timer that I, and because this needs 2.5 minutes of bake time, or whatever, with the 2 pieces of PLA stuffed in here. And then it needs 5 minutes of cool down time before you open this up and clean your PLA and then spool it up. So the process all takes time. Now, I guess we'll get this nailed down first, because this is kind of nice. They've got a really nice. Actually, let's get that out of my way. They've got a nice set of holes already in the model when you build it from Thingiverse. So we're just gonna put some, just some light screws. In fact, I'm only gonna put, I think, 2 screws in this, because there's really no reason to have it. I don't think it needs to be screwed down real tight, but there we go. So now, hopefully, the reason I'm looking at all this is to see if this gear is pushing on this gear in a downward force, because obviously if it was pushing up, it could, pull it out of there, but in a downward direction and spooling up at the same time, everything is stable. This is kind of a cool little kit, and I will provide a link in the description below. I think I mentioned that, for the splicing kit, because this thing has this has been just a little godsend right here, but it needs to be screwed down or something. And the kit didn't come with any way to tie this down. I thought about 3D printing something with clips or something to just tie it down with. But what I think is I'll just go ahead and drill a couple holes in these feet, 2 holes or something, and just put some small screws through to hold this thing in place. So, now, a little tip today too, Craftsman. These were on sale for about $7 at Lowe's. If you see this kit, I don't think I would buy it. Yeah, not again anyways. The drill bits are poor quality. They're just not a very good drill bit. And I went to try to sharpen them up, and they're just not very good. There's just no point. But let's see, 3/16 I guess would be typical. Yeah, see, this thing needs to be sharpened right now. It just came out of the drill pack, and it feels like a dull drill bit kind of thing. It's not very good, but it'll work for what we need today. So, there we go. And I'm just gonna, in fact, I'll even drill it right on top of the board. So again, crumble board, who cares, right? I just want a hole here that I can drive a screw through. Yep. And we'll do another one over on this side in the little flapper. Actually, if I had some of those short screws, drywall type screws or something like that, that would even be better. Because these are kind of expensive for what I'm doing. Oh, the other thing I gotta do is this. The same thing. We'll just drill a couple of holes through this thing and mount it. And again, it's just to stabilize it. There we go. Yeah. And we don't care. And we'll just throw a couple of screws at it, so it's screwed to this board. This is going to be nice because it's be like a little station to just hold everything in place, and then whenever I'm splicing, which, easy. That's pretty good because that's PLA. This stuff here, yeah, and that was a tight pull down, and it didn't break or crack or anything, so that's PLA for you. Yeah. So now we've almost got it all except this right here. Let's just do this and use these nice expensive screws. Yep. Oh, all right. Boom. And there's one there and one there. And yeah, I think, yep, that's good enough. Now I've got this about center of these 2 spools roughly, so that I can just splice in and everything with my kit. So that should take care of the problem. Now all we got to do is just plug it in and get to work. Oh, and there's one other thing, and I always have to look for them, is of course a little cutter for this, because I like to cut it real nice and tight, 90s, when I bring them together here in the splicer. Good would it do if I didn't do the whole thing right here. Yeah, so here we go. Whoop. That's the other thing. Don't let this stuff get away from you, but I'm going to cut a nice end here, and see if we can straighten it up a little bit. I don't like it to be too crooked when it goes in here, but the whole trick to this thing is to get this in about halfway across and then close her up. And that end is done. Now this end here is a little different. And again, I gotta Get a nice blunt cut on that, and I'm going to just straighten this out a little bit. Yep, all right. And then we're going to press in from this end, but you just feed this in through the hole. Yep, there we go. And push them together. Yep, they're nice and tight. I'll turn the power on, and we're going to let this sit up for 2.5 minutes of bake time. So after that, we got to let it sit for 5 minutes of cool down time. So in 7.5 minutes, we'll come back, okay? And we'll get to the next part of this process. Yeah, it's been about 7.5 minutes, and we're back. So now, also you'll probably notice at some point in time, I've changed my shirt and my baseball cap because it's 100 degrees in here today. So yeah, and this will stick a little bit, so we have to sort of bust it out of there. But there you go. We've got the little wings, and we've got some sandpaper that comes with this kit. And what I do is I take 2 pieces of sandpaper and just kind of put them on either side, and just kind of, you know, try to straighten all this up a little bit so that it's a nice, easy flow. Because let's face it, this has got to go through the machine, and our machines here, at least, are not too bad about this sort of thing. I really haven't had any hang-ups or problems with the PLA getting jammed or something because of where we, you know, did one of these little numbers. Yeah, but I still sand it down real good because, let's face it, if you get a nozzle jam at this point in those gears and stuff, that's going to be a mess trying to get that out of there. So I give it a good sand job to make sure that the connection here is nice and smooth. We can run my fingers across it a little bit. Yeah, it's still that's a little bit weak actually. It didn't make a good connection this time. It's not bad. I mean, it'll do the trick. Let's face it, it's going to be, the machine is just going to skip right on through that and just keep driving that in. So really not terribly bad, but I do like it as smooth as I can because I just want to avoid that jam, because that's one of the things about 3D printers. If you ever have a jam, it sort of ruins your day a little bit. That is not half bad. So I'm going to do this backwards because normally I would be on this side in front of the camera. So now we'll just go ahead and spool it up. And look at that, you know. Oh man, that's fabulous. Yep. And I'm going to spool up a bit sloppy. I'm not going to, you know, try to run it from side to side or anything too crazy, but the, yeah, it's doing a nice job. And I'm just, like I said, mechanically just sort of doing it from the backside. So, But this will save me, this saves a tremendous amount of money and time involved because I can now rerun all of it. This is actually 1, 2, 3, 4 different short rolls. Now they can go on the machine and run a large project without any concern over running out of PLA in the middle of the job or something, because it feels good to not have to worry about the machine running out and having to attend to it. Especially some of the projects I've got are 17 hours long, and you don't want at 13 hours or something for the machine to shut down and say, hey, I ran out, you know, there's a problem or something here. So we're just about done there. Yep, look at that. All on one spool. I'll put this back on the machine, and then the machine will be set. And then when the next order comes in, which I think we already have an order for it anyways, we'll fire up the machine and just run all this through. And I've recuperated all that plastic. So I think that's fantastic. And we'll just tie that off. Look at that spool. That's a nice big fatty spool now. Yeah. And we'll take all this apart, get you out of there. And there we have it. We got a nice spool all made up. So, what I will do is I'll provide a link in the description below where you can find that, and I'll see if I can get you a link for this and for that model as well. So if you're interested in making that up on your 3D printer, see if I can provide links for where you can find all that stuff. Meantime, shut all this off, and then we'll just, I guess, put the box here with that and the power supply, and that sort of makes it a nice portable unit that I can just put that up on a shelf somewhere, and then when I'm ready to spool, to bring the spools together, when I'm ready to bring the spools together, I'm all set. So, yay! And these are cardboard, so we can burn them. Oh man, it's hot in here. Hey! Hey, thank you for watching Coffee and Tools. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell. We've got giveaways to get back to as well, so we got to get on that next. I guess Monday we'll see if we, or Monday or Tuesday, I don't know. We did Tuesday and Friday this week, and might have an announcement coming up that's kind of well, it's kind of biggie for me. So we'll talk about that next week. Thanks. Over and out.